If you're thinking of retiring, I don't have to tell you that some of the decisions that you make now will make a big difference in the rest of your life. We're talking about things like Social Security, about where your income comes from, about how you invest your money, about income taxes, all kinds of things like that. And it's very complicated. And if you're feeling like you're a little bit lost, you're not alone. That's why I have a job. I'm Rick DiBiasio. I'm the founder of Latitudes Financial Strategies in Windermere, Florida. I wrote the book, The Retirement Dilemma, and I'm also a certified financial planner. So my focus is on my clients. I work for my clients, and we are fiduciary agents held to the standard of being fiduciaries. In other words, you come first, not our company. We don't represent an insurance company or some firm. We represent you. And I've been working in my field professionally for 36 years now. And so I wanted to create this video series that I hope will help you to make some of the decisions that you have to make as you're getting ready to retire. Now, I want to show you everything we do professionally when a client comes in. And that's from showing you some of the software we use, some of the things we use, like I just use an artist pad. And in one of the videos, I'll show you how I just use an artist pad and some colored markers to draw a mind map of somebody's retirement plan. I'll also show you how we talk about income taxes and Social Security and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope it helps you, and we're going to go through it. But I wanted to tell you that when I think about retirement planning, I really think about a jigsaw puzzle. I guess that's the best way to put it. And when you have a jigsaw puzzle and you have to put it together, if you leave one piece out, the puzzle doesn't look right. And it's the same thing with retirement planning. And we talk about, as I mentioned, things like healthcare and estate planning and expenses and taxes and things like that. So we'll take you through that process of how we start very basically with the back of an envelope calculation, which is how we get the name of this series, Can I Retire? Because everybody sits there and does that. I don't care who you are. If you're thinking of retiring, you take a little piece of paper and you do the math. You think of what you spend every month and what you got coming in, and will it work? So that's the money stuff. And the money stuff is obviously my role in your equation, but I did want to talk to you about something else. About a year ago, we did a podcast series here at Latitudes Financial called Can I Retire, oddly enough. And you can find it wherever you get podcasts. It's on Apple and it's on my website if you happen to go there, latitudesfinancial.com. But I got to tell you something. Regardless of how much money somebody had in retirement, the people we interviewed, and that's what the podcast was about, we interviewed people who were kind of killing it in retirement. And we found that no matter who they were happiest if they felt like they had a sense of purpose, if they felt like they were still learning things, they were still curious about the world, and whether they stayed home and take care of their grandkids or they traveled the world, the people who felt like they had something to do when they got up every morning seemed to be the people who were the happiest in retirement. And we talked to a bunch of them in that podcast. But how do we get you there? Well, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a life coach. I know some I can hook you up with, but at least in my observation, the thing is that you have to have goals. You have to have something that you want to do every day, whether it's to get really good at tennis or ride a bike 100 miles, in my case, in events, or whether it's to just make sure that you're part of your family's lives, maybe because you didn't have that opportunity when you were in your career. So as much as the money stuff is important before you decide to retire, I think you ought to also have a plan about your own happiness and see how it goes. So in each of these modules that we'll do, they'll be 5 to 10 minute long. I'll try to take you through the steps we take with somebody and just give you at least the questions that we ask as we go through this retirement planning process, because it definitely is a process. Some people start off a little further along than others. If we all had the same exact set of circumstances, then retirement planning would be easy. We'd all plug into the same formula and it would be good. But everybody's different. Some people retire younger than others do. Some people have more money than others do. Some people just have a job and they don't want to quit, so they retire a little later in life. So everybody's just a little bit different. And whether you're recently widowed or divorced, or if you're still happily married and things look good, everybody's circumstances are just a little bit different. So we think at Latitudes, every financial plan, every retirement plan in particular, has to be unique to that client that we're talking to. So I hope you enjoy the series. My book, The Retirement Dilemma, is available on Amazon if you're interested. But basically the point of the book, and I'll talk more about this, of course, as we get into the class, is you're expected to retire now. We're really the first generation baby boomers to retire at the other end of that 401k experiment. And let's face it, that's what it was. It was an experiment. 401ks were just created so that corporations didn't have to have pension plans anymore, which are very expensive and costly to administer. They put that burden on you. So now here you are at the other end of that. You've accumulated a lot of money. Now, how do we get to retirement without blowing through that money really fast? It's really hard right now because interest rates are close to zero. The stock market seems to be setting record highs every day. So if you're thinking of buying low and selling high, maybe you're late for that, maybe you're not, depends on how you invest. So it becomes an issue for somebody just getting ready to retire is, what do I do with all this money? I can't just stick it in something paying 7 or 8% anymore like I could 20 years ago. I have to come up with a plan that makes sure that I make more in my investments than I spend. It comes down to being that simple. Make more than you spend, and you should be theoretically okay, right? I mean, that's inarguable. So we're going to talk about that in all these classes or little pieces that I put up here on the internet. And if I can help you out, reach out to us through latitudesfinancial.com. And I hope you enjoy the series. Thanks a lot.